On today's Into Your Head podcast, episode 671, classes at the drive-thru, applying mountain climbing principles to shopping, how to count sheep, 1980s TV weather forecasts, I'm secretly mastering the harmonica, I deal with some listener correspondence, and lots more. Dogs walk into a bar. One of the dogs goes straight up to the bar counter and says, "Hello, would you mind putting on the television there onto the news channel? I heard something about Cyprus, about shit has gone to hell and hit the fan in Cyprus. There's something happening with the banks, and I'm a dog. I'm trying to advance my species, so that one day we can be the next human civilization, rather than the next dinosaur dead civilization. So I'm trying to get into the habit of monitoring the news and becoming a part of this society. Well, not this society, part of a new society of dogs that I'm creating to be separate from. I'm probably over-explaining here now, am I? And the man behind the bar says, "You want the television on, is it?" And the dog says, "What do you mean, is it? You mean you want the television on, do you?" And the man behind the bar says, "Are you new around here? This is the way we talk around here in County Kildare. We say, do you want the television on, is it?" That's the way they speak to you in the shop. You go into a shop and you say, "Hello, can I have a pack of green Actifast Panadol headache tablets there?" And they'll turn around and they'll have a look at their Panadol selection and they'll say, "You want the green ones, is it?" And you say, if you correct the grammar, then you're considered a weirdo. If you dare to suggest to someone that they speak proper English, they'll take offence. And people around you who have nothing to do with it will take offence too. A person behind you, you'll feel their eyes glaring into the back of your skull. Although I'd be doing the same if I was them. If someone was delaying the queue by taking a moment to make a learning opportunity about grammar while they're holding up a queue. No, you do that when there's no one behind you in the queue, or in other words, when there's no queue. If you're in the queue and there's nobody behind you and you're at the front, then there's no queue. You might as well don't be getting all self-satisfied. That's the problem with queues. You spend half an hour into them and you get to the top of them and then you realise if you were at the end of the queue at the beginning and you're at the front of it now and there was no one behind you joined it since, then the queue doesn't exist anymore. You've battled to the top of the queue, but the queue doesn't. It's like if you climbed Mount Everest and you got to the top and then you realised the mountain isn't there, it's disappeared. There was some sort of weird geocumulographic event whereby the mountain disappeared or lowered itself down to ground level and there's no mountain anymore. That's exactly what it's like. Anyway, we've a lot to get on with today. Items that need to be attended to, issues that need to be addressed, topics. Topics. We've got lots and lots of topics. We're positively booming to the seams with topics. We've got topics coming out of this glass. It's a glass. You're probably wondering what it is. You're thinking, a glass? What? What's he talking about? What is it that is made of glass that he's got? Well, it's a glass. It's a glass, basically. It's a glass. I suppose a glass tumbler, whatever you call it. A very small glass that's supposedly designed to put. I got this frigging glass free in Supermax drive-thru at Christmas. It's got a frigging Santa Claus on it, the Supermax logo, and they gave it out with a large meal that came with about half a gallon of frigging fizzy cola, and they give you this free tiny little glass with it, and you try and pour your Coke into it, and it spills all over the car, and you say, "This won't meet my needs at all," and they say something along the lines of, "Well, it's not really intended as a receptacle for the drink that you're buying with this takeout meal from the drive-thru. You're meant to bring it home and keep it and use it for your Christmas entertainment." You wait till Christmas Eve when you have all your relations round And you say, oh, look, I've something to entertain you with now. I got this glass. It's a Christmas-themed glass. Because you go to all these... You go to all these parties at Christmas. Well, you probably do. I don't. I don't believe in parties. I don't believe they exist. So how can you go to something if you don't believe it exists? Oh, Christ. I dropped something. Don't worry your pretty little head about it. I dropped something. It's not the end of the world. It's just it's a non-breakable coffee mug, and it's also empty, and it's got a lid on it, so even if it had something in it, it wouldn't be a major issue. Although maybe it would. I don't know. Would it or wouldn't it? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. It's not like any of you are ever going to come in here. Or maybe you are, I don't know. As an into your head listener visiting Ireland in the near future, maybe he'll come in here, or maybe he won't, or maybe I won't invite him, or maybe I will, or maybe I'll invite him and he'll say, no, I don't want to see your crappy little room that you fucking spill coffee all over. You probably haven't cleaned since, because you clean it about once every 2 years. I don't want to see your smelly little room in your smelly little town with your smelly little cats and your smelly little I'll make a song out of it. Actually, we have a song request. Now that I think about her, we have a song request from a listener. Well, I assume he's a listener. He behaves as if he listens. He's known to another... hold on a minute. Let's look this up now. I have a song request. Because I put out the call on Facebook. I said, recording this morning, topic suggestions or cat song demands, etc. Welcome as always, which indeed they are. studio@intoyourhead.com. Terry from Southern California requests the Cyprus owes me cat toy blues. Now, he spelled Cyprus wrong unless he's referring to something other than Cyprus the country, which he may well be. In which case, though, I don't know what he wants. The Cyprus owes me cat toys blues, or how the financial reorganization of a small island country overinvested by shady Russian businesses will profoundly impact the global cat toy industry. So I replied, consider it done. I thought I'll humour him, because he sounds like a fucking lunatic. He has a beard and all. He's supposedly, he puts out this fella puts out a public image of being a responsible professional, but no, he comes on with this crap. He writes something, you request topics for your serious news and current affairs debate program on the internet, and there's an email. Cialis for Edmen from Dr. Antonio. Oh, that's fantastic. This message was not sent to spam because of a filter you created. Oh, it's my fucking fault now, is it? Fuck you, Google, if that's your real species. Anyway. So I have to do this. I'll come back to that later, because I'm a bit of a tickly throat at the moment. Hopefully it'll disperse as the morning goes on. So it's a bit early to be having a musical interlude there. Yeah, if you don't mind me saying so, Terry, if that's your real name, which it isn't. I'm probably supposed to use your internet name. It's okay, because I didn't give out your surname or say who you are or anything, so it's all fine. This isn't really... None of this is happening. Anyway, did I ever finish the story about the two dogs who walked into a bar earlier? I don't think I did. To be perfectly honest, I shoved it in there at the beginning of the show as an afterthought, because I didn't like the original beginning. So I moved the beginning up back a bit and put an extra 2 minutes and 56 seconds in front of it where I went on about dogs. But I got a bit distracted there by cues. It's very easy to get distracted by cues, you know. You're standing in the middle of the queue, and next thing you notice something about the head in front of you, the back of the head that's in front of you. As far as you're concerned, there's no front of the head, because we see stuff, if we're honest, we see stuff in 2D. If you're looking at the back of someone's head, you may think you're seeing them 3-dimensionally, but no, you're not. You're only seeing the back of them. You might as well be looking at them on a flat television screen, or a slightly curved ones, because all television screens, if I remember rightly, are slightly curved. Or are they? Here's a question for you. Here's Terry from California would know. He's in the broadcast industry. Terry, are all television screens curved, or is that just an optical illusion, or is there there's some new thing where, it's a flat TV, but it's the next thing on from HD and 3D. We have curved screens where you can feel like the camera is curved, and it's a camera that's, how do I explain this? Imagine if the camera was a big long thing that stretched around the scene and could see it, basically went around the perimeter of the scene. And if you have a curved thing, if it look like, basically you're looking in the window of a lighthouse. I'm not explaining this very well, and I can't think of a way to explain it. But if Terry's a professional, he'll be able to explain this back to me, I'm sure, in due course. We'll see. Not that I'm trying to test you. Who am I to go around testing someone who has a job? Fuck that shit. I don't. You don't come round to my house and test me about how I load the dishwasher in the morning. No, you do not. Well, you fucking better. I don't load it in the morning anyway. I load it as I go along. Every time I bring anything into the kitchen that's going to be dishwashed at some point in the future, I shove it straight into the dishwasher. I don't just let it pile up and then have a moment where I go, it's time to load the dishwasher. Here's the loading the dishwasher event. No, I don't have a loading the dishwasher event. I do as I go along in pieces. So I basically dismantle the event into multiple little nanoseconds, so it's barely noticeable, and that's probably a bad idea. This is why women never got round to being paid for being housewives back in the 50s, because they were too efficient. They broke up these events into little nanoseconds and tell you, if you were filling in a timesheet and you said, yes, I spent a nanosecond at 11:03 putting a saucer into the dishwasher, people will just laugh at you. They'll say, isn't that you? Look at that, a funny little housewoman trying to, as I just said, I've just explained what I've just said, so I'm not going to reiterate it. This is a recording, so you can rewind it if you didn't listen to it in the first place. You don't have to go. This isn't like morning radio where you have to what's that word they call it, where you reintroduce things every 10 minutes. You say, hello, you're listening to the Into Your Head FM1 podcast. It's 10 minutes to 8. I know I said a few minutes ago that it was 20 minutes to 8, but we moved forward since. Things have changed. There's being an update to the time situation. Here's an update on the time. In fact, it's moved on now. I spent a minute talking, so it's another minute gone. Another minute of your life flushed down the toilet. My toilet was blocked recently. I think it's fixed now, but it was blocked, and I realised I went on a learning curve where I realised that when the toilet is blocked, it has to get worse before it can get better. The best ways to unblock it, I found out accidentally, is to let it overflow. So there's so much water in it that it pushes down on everything, and the force of water. If you're a scientist, you can probably explain this better, but the force of water pushes unless the blockage is water. Maybe there was water blocking it, in which case maybe I got heavier water. I do live in a hard water area. Maybe at some point the water was softer than usual, and it didn't go down. I don't know, or it blocked it. I don't know. Which would block it more, hard water or soft water? I don't know. I'm not a frigging scientific mind. I'm more than just a brain. And even my brain itself, therefore, doesn't need to have much in it, because there's more to me than my brain. If you're just a brain, then there has to be a lot in your brain, because your brain is the whole thing. And it has to, no, because I'm more than just a brain. My brain doesn't have everything. It doesn't have to have everything. I can have it spread around my body. I have hands. I have a mouth that I'm using to great effect at the moment. Have feet down here. I've just cut my fingernails, incidentally. Or no, my toenails. I cut my toenails. That's another thing. I cut my toenails in here. This is a place I shouldn't let people into ever. I cut my toenails. Do you really want to be in a room where I cut my frigging toenails? That could be a test of listener loyalty, I can tell you.
You're listening to Into Your Head, hosted by Neil, Ireland's version of the Octomom. Except he's a dude. and has cats.
It's time to deal with some listener correspondence. I had some Twitter-based interaction with Ernest, aka at Little Ern. Ernest says, for no apparent reason, he blurted out recently to me. He directed this straight at me. It starts with at into your head pod, so he wasn't just asking the world in general. He was asking me. He says, at into your head pod. We want retrospective weather forecasts, podcasts in brackets on the next episode, please. Nice and accurate, please. I think this is because there was some incident involving the British Broadcasting Corporation and their weather forecast feed on Twitter getting, it was hacked by some foreigners from some war zone or something. So I think I replied to him. I said, who's we or something, and he says, we represent a boil in the bag circus, a small troupe of jugglers and whistlers, bookings taken. I think I replied to this at some point. Yes, I know who you represent, but you haven't told me who you are. And he still hasn't responded. He hasn't responded. Or maybe he did, or did I miss it? I don't know. I don't think I did. I don't think I did miss it. I'd see something like that. If someone replied to me about something, I'd see it. I'd look at it with my eyes on at least 3 different devices through the day, and I'd see, that fella's responded to me. I suppose two responses on something as unimportant and trivial as this. 2 responses is more than enough. You can't expect a conversation like that to go on forever, because there's only so much you can say about it. Anyway, he says we want retrospective weather forecasts on the next podcast, please. The way the world works is that the world is round, so I can forecast the weather in Australia, because Australia is 12 hours ahead or something, and, the whole world is, wait a minute, I have to work this out. If the world is turning, and it's cold in Australia now, then it's going to be cold here 12 hours from now, or at least the space over Australia. If that's cold, then the space over here is going to be cold. I suppose there's ground conditions and local atmospheric conditions that affect this. If only there were some sort of weather forecasting professionals available on some sort of broadcast medium that could do this for you, Ernest, instead of me, because I'm not a frigging weather forecaster. Maybe there's some way you can find a professional weather forecast on some sort of communication medium, maybe some sort of thing that's connected to your computer, or a thing on your television where you can see some fella standing in front of a map, although it's a virtual map nowadays. Those maps they use on the weather forecast on the television, they're not real anymore. They stopped using the real maps, because for one thing they get wet, and for another thing they go out of date, because if you update, they used to have this on Irish television in the 80s. They'd stand in front of a wall, there'd be 2 maps, and there'd be a satellite photo, and they'd point at it with a stick, and they'd say, here's the weather for today, and they'd put they have stick-on paper clouds and bits of rain that they'd stick to it, and they'd say, here's a bit of rain down the southwest, and here's the next map for tomorrow, and you'll see the bit of rain has moved up a bit. It's not the same bit of rain, because these are 2 separate maps that we use at the same time, so we have to make a new cloud to stick on the other map. You can't just transfer it over in the middle of a short program. This program is about 2 minutes long. I don't have time for that, so it has to be snappy. They have to make it snappy. So they have 2 sets of clouds for the 2 separate maps. At least I think they had. I don't really remember the exact. I was a child. The weather forecast wasn't that important to me as a child. It didn't mean a shit of beans to me. It didn't mean. Is that what they say? No, this didn't mean a something of beans. There's a phrase. A hill of beans. That's what it is. What, a hill of beans? Now, if you have a hill of beans, is that a hill that's made of mud? A natural hill and it's got beans growing on it, or is a hill that's comprised entirely of beans? Because if that's the case, the beans would probably, at least in the middle of the hill, they'd be composted. You're talking about rotted beans, which is pretty, although you could grow some more beans on that and it would grow very well, although not really, because if you make compost out of a crop, you're supposed to, and you put it down in the place where the crop was growing, you're supposed to grow something different there the next year and rotate your crops, because they use different nutrients nutrients. These are the basics of farming. Ernest, I can't tell you anything about weather forecasting, but I know a little bit about farming because I was on a farm twice when I was a child. I helped my uncle count sheep once. He was standing there. He's a professional farmer. He didn't really need my help, but I thought I'd back him up. It was more of a learning experience for me than any help for him, but I'm sure he felt he was doing his bit for the family by allowing me to count sheep with him. He went 1, 2, 3, 4, and I went 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he carried on till we got to the end, and then I went, how many's there supposed to be? And he said, I don't know. We don't know that till we die. We don't know what's supposed to be about anything. We don't know the meaning of anything till we die. Maybe you mean how many sheep do I own? And I probably said yes. I didn't really understand that previous bit. And he'll say 72, although we're sending 3 off tomorrow to be killed, and then we're going to keep some of them for milking. Do you milk sheep? You probably do. I don't. You probably, Ernest, do you milk sheep? You probably do if you ask me fucking weird crap like that about the weather. Do you need special weather to be milking sheep? You probably do, because they live up the mountains. They're sheep. There's a place called the Wicklow Mountains between here and the east coast, and it has a reputation for sheep. It's got lots of sheep living up in them. You probably go up there and you milk a sheep, which will be someone else's sheep, unless you happen to own land up there, which I very much doubt, because you're not even from this country as far as I know. Not that I know you very well. I only know you from Twitter. There you go. Anyway, on with the show.
IntoYourHead.com. Support the podcastual arts at no cost to you. Just click through the Amazon link at IntoYourHead.com whenever you go shopping for anything, even if you use Amazon UK or Canada. We'll take your weird foreign money here. We're not proud. Just visit IntoYourHead.com and click on the appropriate Amazon banner.
If you would like to comment on any of the issues raised in this program, email studio@IntoYourHead.com. Remember, we value the opinions of you, the humble and ignorant listener.
Matchstick cats. Matchstick cats. Matchstick cats. Matchstick cats and stuff.
Are you a cat? Or do you know somebody who might be? Then tell yourself about Matchstick Cats, Neil's webcomic. Brand new episodes at IntoYourHead.com.
Matchstick cats and stuff. IntoYourHead.com.
I suppose I should probably get on with dealing with this song request, because I did put out the call on Facebook this morning saying if you have any cat song demands, go ahead and send them in. So if I don't fulfill this request now, I'm going to look like a gobshite. Certainly, there's one thing I don't want to look like. It's a gobshite. Well, I don't mind if I physically look like a gobshite. If I look like a gobshite in terms of my personality, then that has an effect, because people lose respect for you. They say, I used to respect him, but I don't anymore because he looks like a gobshite. I don't mean physically, I mean his personality looks like that of a gobshite. Although, what's the personality of a gobshite? Never mind. Anyway, Terry says he wants a song about the Cyprus owes me cat toy blues, or how the financial reorganisation of a small island country overinvested by shady Russian businesses will profoundly impact the global cat toy industry. A bit of politics there, and I'm not afraid to have a bit of international politics on the show. I listen to the BBC World Service when I'm trying to sleep sometimes. If I run out of episodes of Security Now, or that thing with John C. Dvorak talking to an economics fella about share prices. If I run out of those, I listen to the BBC World Service, so I know a bit about global news. There's more to news, than who scratched their arse in the entertainment business lately. Whether you're one on the Howard Stern show there's something where you're one on the Howard Stern show. She's doing the work from home at the moment, and there's gossip about her health. I haven't really looked into any further because I'm busy listening to real news. Such a thing as real news, Anyway, here's a song about the real news. Oh, Cyprus sows me cat toys. Cyprus owes me cat toys. Oh, people in Cyprus now are waking up wondering whether there's going to be any money in the bank to buy food. But all I care about is my cat toys. Cypress spells Cyprus. Financial spells financial. I thought I'd get more out of the lyrics than this, so at least my harmonica playing is improving. I'm very proud of my harmonica playing at the moment. I think it's come on nuts over the last year or so, even though I have no idea how you play a harmonica properly. I don't know about notes or anything, but no, it's starting to sound a bit more realistic, so I'm very happy with that. Thank you, Terry, for the opportunity to practice my harmonica playing further, so I can... when I retire from this, I'm going to become a harmonica player. I'm going to sit in bars where I watch cats coming in, ordering pints, and say, oh, here's my harmonica. Everyone shut up now and I'll play a little tune. And I'll do that all night. And people will say, why isn't he singing? And other people will say, are you stupid or something? He's got a harmonica shoved down his throat. You can't sing while you have a harmonica shoved down your throat. And when people request a blues song about Cyprus or something, they can't expect much in the way of lyrics if you're doing it on your harmonica. I assume Terry wanted me to do it on my harmonica, because that's the only blues style instrument I have. You're not going to play the blues on a pair of bongos. I don't have a guitar. Well, I have a guitar, but it's in another room. I drew out the other guitar. If you listen to a special program I did on the Into Your Head Extras and Reruns feed, you'll have heard me retiring my original guitar. But there's a new one available to me in the other room if I ever feel the need. But no, I'd rather just continue to become professional at my harmonica playing, and maybe someday that'll be my out. That'll be my way out of here. If you say, oh, I've been secretly practicing the harmonica right in front of your faces on almost every episode since 2006, and now I'm a fully fledged harmonica professional. I'm going to go off and become a world-renowned, what you call it, and you didn't even see it coming, even though I was doing it right on the show. Then I can tell you, then you'll all be feeling stupid. Two further dogs walk into a bar. One of the dogs goes straight up to the bar counter and sees his double up there. He sees another dog looking exactly like him up at the bar, having a deep in conversation with the barman, except he seems to have frozen. In time. And he asks one of the customers, what's going on here? Those people seem to be frozen in time. And his fellow customer says, it's funny you should mention that, because there was a two dogs walk into the bar story earlier in the show, and he forgot to finish it. So there was that dog and that man at the bar. They're frozen there, waiting for some sort of finality. And the dog says, "Oh, now that's interesting. There, but for the grace of God, go I." And the customer says, "Could happen to you, quite easily. It was on this episode, so clearly he's distracted today. He could just get distracted in the middle of a story and forget to finish whatever is happening. He could happen to me now. I'm involved now. Thanks very much," says the customer. "You've involved me in this crap now, so I'm in danger too. Let's just our job now, I suppose, is to keep it interesting so he doesn't get distracted." And the dog says, "Oh, that's a good idea. If we just keep it interesting so he doesn't get distracted until the end. What can we do that's interesting now?" And the customer says, "I suppose we could look at this dog and this barman in front of us that are frozen in time. If that's not interesting enough, I don't know what the hell is. And the dog says, oh, that reminds me. What was I going to say? I can't remember. Anyway, good morning.
IntoYourHead.com.
Sit, Annie, sit. Good cat.